got a new full-time job, and trying to juggle that with a social life, seeing your girlfriend, blah blah blah, it's a lot of work, and it run me down a bit. So that's why there haven't been too many videos. I say too many. There's been none. But yeah, I'm back. I've got a schedule sorted out. I'm going to be doing a fair few videos over the next few weeks. Should be seeing a regular flow of new videos coming your way. So let's get on with it. To kick off the new series of videos, as it were, I'm going to be showing you how to self-host your own WordPress blog. Now, the first thing to understand is, if you're looking just to set up a blog, WordPress isn't your only option, and neither is self-hosting. There are loads of blog networks out there for you to choose from, including WordPress, that offer a sort of we'll set up everything for you service, and you get a free blog with limited customization and all that, but nothing beats a self-hosted blog. With self-host, you get all the customization options under the sun, add integration, and it's pretty much you're the boss. It's hosted on your domain, your web host, your web server. You have direct access to all the root files and everything. And I think that's really important, and that's what I'm going to be showing you how to do today. Also, one last thing before we start. You are going to need your own web host and domain name to get this going. If you're not sure how to get a domain name or a web hosting account, don't worry. That's exactly what one of my next videos is going to be about. But for those of you who do have some web hosting and a domain name, let's get going. Okay, so the first thing you'll need to do is head over to wordpress.org. Now, don't confuse this with wordpress.com, which is what we talked about earlier. You know, the will host your blog and you get limited crap in return. So don't go on that one, that's for noobs. What you want to do is head over to, like I said, wordpress.org. Click download WordPress 2.9.2 is the version at the time of this recording. I'll take you to this page. It's got tells you a bit about the fact they've got a guide, blah blah blah. You don't need the guide, you've got this video, it's far better. So yeah, click the new button here, download WordPress, and this one actually starts downloading the file. Okay, so we've got the file downloaded. It's just a zip file. What we're going to do now is open that folder up, and we're presented with this, a load of files and folders. You don't need to worry about what they do. All you've got to do with these is send them over to your web host, and we're going to do that using FTP. So now what you've got to do is open up your FTP client of choice, whatever you want to use. I use CyberDuck, so I'm going to open up CyberDuck. Okay, here we go, CyberDuck's opening up. By the way, just for the purpose of this video, I'm using an old domain that I never use anymore, just to show you how it works. So here is the directory of my web host. Now, when you upload the files, you need to decide where you want them to be, because where they go depends on where you want your blog to be viewable. For example, if I put them straight in here in the public HTML folder, when I visit the domain itself, just literally the .com, it's going to go straight to the blog. Or I could put it in a subdirectory and have my visitors type in /blog, and that would bring up the blog instead. So it's up to you. You can decide what you want to do. For the purpose of this video, we're just going to whack it in public HTML in the root directory, so it's the first thing you see when you go on the website. So now what we're going to do is, so just move this to the side, we're going to get every single one of these files onto my web host. So I'm going to hit Command and A, that's Control A on Windows, selects everything in that folder. Make sure you don't actually upload the folder itself. I mean, it's not disastrous, but you'll end up having to type in /WordPress to do anything, and you don't want to do that. So literally just take the files from inside the folder, and then I'm going to drag them all over into public_HTML. And that will start them uploading, at least on this software. I'm sure it's the same on pretty much any other FTP client. So this could take a few minutes. Normally, it took about 15 minutes last time. So I'm going to stop the video and I'll come back to you when it's uploaded. Okay, so everything's uploaded, all good and nice. It took about 10 minutes, not too bad. And everything's here in public HTML, as you can see. And the last step for us to do now is to install it. It's not quite done yet, unfortunately. What you've got to do is head over to your domain, or wherever your files went, if it went into a directory. And what it's going to say is, there doesn't seem to be a wp-config.php file, blah 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 blah. Basically, I don't know why, but WordPress seemed to think the best way to do this is to do it manually, open the file in a text editor and type in your database name, etc. I think that's a load of crap. I was going to say a worse word then. It's much easier to do it through this web interface, although they are right, technically some web servers don't support it. Most modern ones do. If you find that you have to do it manually, they have instructions for that, so you can just go through that. It's not too complicated, but this way is far easier. We're going to click Create a Configuration File, and we're going to need these details. It's just to basically do a databases. I'm sure if you've got your own web host, you know all about databases. Okay, so here's where we're going to input all the information. I'm just going to type in my information here for my database that I made. You will need to obviously go to your web host, your control panel, whatever, and make one, or use an existing one. It's up to you. See if I can remember the correct details. I'm going to have to block out that password somehow because they don't asterisk it out. I don't know why. Localhost, that's fine. Don't want any table prefix. We'll just quickly go through these. Your database name, you'll choose that. Username, password, for me it's the same as my host. It's probably the same for you as well. Database host, localhost, you barely ever need to change that. Table prefix, you can put a little prefix for the entries that go into the database, so you can differentiate if you're using it for more than one platform. I know that sounds complicated. If you do it, you'll know what I'm on about. So let's hit submit, and it's done. In my opinion, that's a lot easier than going to the file itself and doing all of that manually, trying to find the right bits to edit. It's a pain. The end user isn't going to have a clue how to do that, right? So the last step is to actually run the install itself. Okay, and we're almost done. All we've got to do now is read the little welcome paragraph, or not. Type in what you want your blog to be called. Call it iScreencasts. Verify your email. Let's make something up. Not going to keep this blog after I've done this video. Tick the box for allowing your blog to appear in search engines. Can't be a bad thing. Bit of web traffic for you. And hit install WordPress. Awesome, we're done. It gives you your username and password for the admin panel. We're going to copy that because otherwise we'll never get in. And then hit login. So now we can log into our newly installed WordPress. And hey presto, here we are inside the admin panel. You can make posts, and from here you can pretty much go ahead and do anything you want. There is obviously a little warning telling you to change your password. I'm pretty sure you'd want to do that anyway, because that the one they give you is pretty hard to remember.